Hi guys, it's Questfish and I'm back once again. It's Sunday, it's 6 o'clock and it's time for another video for you guys. And this week I'm going to give you my top 5 urban legends. Now, if you rewind my videos back, probably going 2-3 years ago, I did an urban legends video on Mikey and that popping candy and the coke and yeah, head blowing up. Well, I thought it was about time that I brought back the urban legends and I'm going to give you my top 5 urban legends. Number 1. Okay, my first one is humans can lick too. Now, if I could add in some special effects, so that would be all echoey now, like, humans can lick too. But anyway, humans can lick too, so here we go. Okay, this story begins with an old lady who lives in this old creaky house. Basically, she lived on her own and she loved listening to the radio. And one night on the radio, she heard that a crazed murderer had escaped and was on a run. He'd already killed 2 people already. So they advised everyone to lock all their doors, lock all their windows and stay safe inside. So she followed that, as I said, because she loved listening to the radio. So she locked all her doors and all her windows, apart from this small tiny one. So she did all that and then she went to bed. This old lady had a little dog that used to sleep under her bed every night. Just lugged it underneath there. Didn't sleep under the bed, slept underneath the bed. So every night she'd go to bed and she'd put her hand down, the dog would lick her hand and she'd know the dog was there. But this one particular night she was laying in bed and she woke up about 3-4 o'clock in the morning and heard this drip, drip, dripping sound. So she put her hand under the bed, the dog licked her and then she went downstairs. When she was downstairs she checked every tap, but none of the taps were dripping. She couldn't understand it. So she went back up to bed, got nice and cozy in bed again, put her hand down again, the dog licked her hand again. She thought, yes, I am nice and safe. So she went off to sleep again. She woke up half an hour later hearing that dripping sound again. She's thinking, where is that dripping noise coming from? She thought, oh, I'll just check my dog's there. So she put her hand down under the bed again and the dog licked her hand. She thought, oh, I'm all safe, my dog's still there. She thought, I'll go and check the shower. So I checked all the taps, it was got to be coming from the shower. So she went into the shower and as she opened the shower curtain, her dog was hanging there and the blood was just dripping from the dog. Obviously the lady was devastated and as she turned round she looked and saw the mirror and in blood was written, humans can lick too. And as she moved round in the mirror she could see behind her the murderer. Number 2. The killer on the back seat. One evening, a lady went out for a few drinks with her friends. After this lovely night out, she got back in her car to drive home. 5 minutes into her journey home, there was a lone car behind her, flashing their headlights at her. The car behind her was driving up really fast. He was flashing his lights. He pulled up beside her. His lights were still flashing, so she sped off a little bit faster. So she puts her foot down, she starts to drive really faster. The guy's flashing his lights again and again. He keeps flashing his lights at her. She is really starting to panic now. She thinks, what can I do, what can I do? He's flashing behind her. So she drives home. She drives onto her driveway really fast and pulls the car up. She gets out of her car and runs to her door. The guy that was chasing her pulls onto her driveway. He jumps out too and he says, call the police, call the police. When the police arrive, the horrible truth was revealed. They make an arrest straight away. There was a man in the back of her car. The guy that was following her, flashing his lights, explained, as I drove up behind you, I saw a man come up from behind your back seat with a butcher's knife. So I flashed my lights, and when I flashed my lights, he ducked down again. So I had to keep flashing my lights because it'd keep him down. The moral of the story is, always check your back seat. Number 3. You all know this one. This is the one that went round in school when I was in school, and you all did it, and there's many versions to this one, but this one is Bloody Mary. Once upon a time, there was this girl called Kate. She didn't have many friends. But one day she got invited around this group of friends' house for a sleepover. They were playing Truth or Dare. It finally got to Kate's turn. She was dared to go into the bathroom with a candle and utter the words 3 times, Bloody Mary. When she had finished saying it 3 times in the mirror, she thought, nothing's happened. I knew this was absolutely rubbish. So she turned round and walked towards the door. Just before she got to the door, the candle blew out. It was pitch dark. So she started banging on the door, let me out, let me out, let me out. And the other girls just laughed at her. So she turned round and slumped to the floor against the door. The sink in the bath started to run thick red blood. The blood was all over the floor now, and as it started to curdle, Bloody Mary rose from the blood. Bloody Mary walked over to her and slit her throat. Bloody Mary then dragged Kate's body through the plug hole. The next morning, the other girls went into the bathroom, and all they could see was blood everywhere. They screamed so loud that their screams could be heard from miles away. Number 4. The body under the bed. A lady and a man were on their honeymoon, and they checked into this hotel. When they went into their room, they could smell this really, really bad odour, and they really didn't like the smell of it. So the husband went downstairs to the manager and reported to him and said, "Mate, it really smells in our room. It really does smell. Can you check it out or change rooms for us, please?" He said, "I'm really sorry, but we're fully booked up because there's a conference on today. But I'll tell you what, you can eat in the finest part of our hotel tonight. And when you go there, we'll send a maid up to check out the smell and basically give the room another clean for you." So they accepted. While they were eating their meal, the maid went up there to check out the smell, to try and find out what it was. She could not find it at all. But she did what she was asked. She cleaned everything, she changed the sheets, she even changed the curtains. She bleached the toilet, she bleached the sink. She gave it the best clean it ever had. After the meal, the couple went back to the room, and the smell was still there. The husband was furious, so he stripped the room apart trying to find out what this smell was. As he pulled the mattress up, there was a dead lady lying there. Number 5, the babysitter. Now, I'm sure you've all heard this one before because it has been in a few films. Here we go. Okay, once there was this married couple who didn't go out much together, but one night they thought, yes, we are going to go out tonight, we're going to enjoy ourselves and have some fun. So they flicked through their book to find their babysitter numbers, and they found the perfect one. Yes, we're going to call Stacey because she's a really good babysitter. We trust her, we've used her several times before. So they called her up. Results, she can do it. So the babysitter came round half an hour later. They said to the babysitter, right, the children are in bed, they're fast asleep, there's no need to disturb them. The couple go out, and the babysitter sits down and starts doing her homework. While she's doing her homework, she's waiting for a phone call from her boyfriend. So she's doing her homework, half an hour goes, 45 minutes goes, the phone rings, yes! She answers the phone, and there's nothing. All she can hear is breathing. 2 minutes later, the phone rings again. So she picks up, it's got to be my boyfriend this time. She answers, hello? And the person on the other line says, have you checked the children upstairs? At first she thinks it's the father just ringing just to make sure the children are okay. And she thought, well, they're okay. You know, I've not heard any noise from them. So she just ignores it and gets on with her homework again. And then the phone rings again. 1 minute later, she picks up the phone again and goes, hello? And the creepy voice says, have you checked the children upstairs? She says, Mr. Murphy, is that you? And the phone hangs up. She's panicking now. So she goes, oh, I know what I do. I'll ring the restaurant where Mr. and Mrs. Murphy are dining that evening. So she rings the restaurant and she says, can I speak to Mr. Murphy, please? And the restaurant owner says, they left 5 minutes ago. So she decides to call the police. She calls the police and says, this strange person's been calling me. And they say to her, have they threatened you at all? And she says no, and the police say, I'm sorry then, there's nothing we can do for you then. A few minutes later, the phone rings again. She picks up in a panic, and the voice says, why haven't you checked the children upstairs? She's really panicking now, so she rings the police again. She says, please, there's a creepy person, he keeps calling me, I'm really, really scared. And they say to her, have you seen him? Has he touched you? Has he threatened you? And she says no. And they say to her again, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. She really starts to panic with the lady on the phone. She says, please, 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 I really need your help, I'm really scared. So the police lady says, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We will trace your number. So if he calls you back again, we'll be able to tell you where he's calling from, and then we can go and track him down. The phone rings again, and the person says to her, why have you turned the lights down? She's like, can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Where are you? He goes, I can see you. She says, are you enjoying scaring me? Why are you doing this to me? Are you really enjoying making me scared? And he says, yes. And she goes, is that what you wanted? And he says, no. And she goes, what do you want? And he says, all your blood all over me. So she hangs up the phone. 1 minute later, the phone rings again. She picks the phone up, and it's the police lady this time. And she says to her, I've traced that number that keeps calling you. The number is from within your house. Get out the house now. Get out the house now. She rushes to the front door. She tries to open it and then realises the catch is at the top. She glances around at the top of the stairs. She can see the man standing there as he's walking down the stairs. She finally opens the front door and bursts through. Oh, thank God, a policeman standing there with a gun. She hugs him like this and he pushes her out the way because the man comes running towards her from down the stairs with a knife. The policeman shoots the man. He falls dead. And they're looking at him going, oh my word, there's loads of blood all over him. So they go upstairs and all they can see is 2 dead children covered in blood. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this urban legends video for you. If you did, please hit that like button just below. If you haven't, check out all my other videos. I've got loads of different random videos that cover all different subjects. Great fun. And obviously hit that subscribe button to get my latest video, which comes out every Sunday at 6 o'clock. Anyway guys, it was great fun making this video and I shall see you next Sunday.